This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome back. You know, it is fun always to talk to Sam Brown about Fuzzy Friends Rescue. Your second time to come on in your new role as executive director. And it's such an important part of the community for the animals that you serve. And you just had a huge fundraising gala. Tell me about that.
Well, 2 weeks ago was my 6-month anniversary, and you and I got together like probably 2 weeks after I started back this summer. So it's good to be back. I love your show, and it's an honor to be on it. The fundraiser you're referring to is our annual Barkin' Ball. But ironically, the 26th annual Barking Ball was different than the 25 that preceded it for two main reasons. One, for the first time in 26 years, we moved it away from New Year's Eve. And we had it on January the 23rd, Friday, January 23rd. The reception to that date change, we knew the reasons why we changed the date, but we didn't know how the community, because a lot of the community, their calendar, New Year's Eve was always blocked off for Barkin' Ball. But we had a wonderful reception of people who said, thank you for changing it. I can come now, or I don't have a conflict, or this works better because we don't like to get out on New Year's Eve. So a lot of our sponsors who had been sponsoring for years and had table or tables, the owners now came.
Yeah, you actually had the people come.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the second major change was we incorporated into Barkin' Ball something that we used to do every other year, and that was called Pooches on Parade.
Pooches on Parade. Oh, yes. I was involved with that in the
probably
past.
modeled in it.
Oh, yes,
you.
right. Our little Peanut.
Yes.
He dressed in all kinds of cute outfits.
Well,
Yeah.
Pooches on Parade was done every other year. We would alternate it with Bow Wow Bingo. However, like a lot of things, Bow Wow Bingo kept growing in popularity. That's our May fundraising event. And it's usually about 500 people that get together and just have fun playing bingo, and there's prizes and food. And it grew so popular that Bow Wow Bingo became an annual event. Well, that took the spot of Pooches on Parade every other year.
Right.
So when we were thinking about, well, Barkin' Ball no longer has that New Year's Eve theme, what's going to be the personality? What's going to be the theme of Barkin' Ball year after year? We said, let's bring in the style show from Pooches on Parade. And so we did. It actually added some complexity, both.
I'm sure.
When you have over 1,000 people gathering, even at the base, it fills up a room. And so table-wise, making sure people are comfortable.
And then they can see, and
that's
know,
right.
all that. Yeah.
Everybody wants to be able to, in proximity. So then you throw in the middle of that a huge runway.
Style show. Yeah.
But we did a wonderful
Yeah.
job with the team we worked with. Our decorations and layout were all done by Bricker Bruner. And he brings such an eye for design and wonderful taste. And then our Humane Hero sponsor, the presenting sponsor of Barkin' Ball, was Parsons Roofing, and which is now in its 4th generation of ownership. Stuart Parsons and I, who is 3rd generation of ownership, he and I literally have been lifelong friends, and we were friends before even kindergarten. And so to see Stuart and his family, him passing the torch to his children and their spouses, has been fun. But he has a huge heart for the animals, and he's backed that up with his sponsorship of both the Guardian Angel, the Bow Wow Bingo, and Barkin' Ball. So it turned out to be the largest Barkin' Ball ever. The weather cooperated.
Oh man,
barely.
I thought, is it on Friday or Saturday? And I was so grateful that the Lord smiled on you on it being on Friday night instead of Saturday.
What really earned my respect this year during our freeze or leading up to it was running the search term Waco weather on Google, because it brings up about a 10-day forecast, and then it breaks down each day hour by hour.
Right.
And we watched that like a hawk, and it
you
was
did.
scary how accurate that Google
that's good to
weather
know.
was.
Yeah.
That plus we're a little bit fortunate because KWTX is our media sponsor, and obviously they have amazing meteorologists over there. And so between KWTX and the Google weather app, we were watching the weather, and we could tell our event on Friday would end at about 11:30, and the freeze didn't kick in until about 7 or 8 the next morning.
Oh.
And sure enough, that's
The
exactly what happened.
timing was awesome.
That's right.
For you all, and I was grateful when I was watching all this. So the time that you've been at Fuzzy Friends, I mean, I know you've fallen in love with these animals. I would see you from time to time, and you'd be telling me about different ones. Just how gratifying is it to you to be a part of something that is saving the lives of these animals?
The best word I can use is every day when I go home, there's a fulfillment that I feel as I'm driving home, and it's something that happened that day. Sometimes it'll be an animal that came into us, and some of our animals that come in, they don't come from horrible situations. They just don't have a place to live anymore. Somebody passes away, and maybe the adult children aren't able to take the dog or cat, but they don't want to just dump it. They don't want to just go on to social media and say free cat to go. That can go south so badly. Whether you're looking for an animal or trying to get rid of one, doing it on social media. And so they either know us or they hear about us. They bring it to us. When we take it in, the moment that animal is taken into Fuzzy Friends, we are committed to that dog or cat for life.
And that is true. I know you have some that have been there a while.
Well, and even when they get adopted out, in the contract that you sign when you adopt from Fuzzy Friends, it says if for any reason this does not work out, you are obligated to bring that dog or cat back to us. Because what we don't want to happen is for somebody to get into it, it'd be more than they had planned on. Maybe their living situation changes and their new apartment won't allow it. Or they just give it to somebody that we would have never approved because they're not ready to handle the responsibilities, both time-wise and financially, that come with owning a dog or cat. So we tell them, you bring it. And we've got some dogs or cats and cats at Fuzzy Friends that may have been brought back a time or two. Yeah. Some of them, they present really well, but then they get home and people, after a month, they're like, this is a little bit different than what I expected. I thought it was just going to chill out in the corner. This dog needs a lot more activity than I'm able to give it. And so they bring it back. And we don't ever criticize that because they're doing the right thing.
Right.
But then we go to the flip side of the scale from the regular understandable story to the horrible stories. And we get to see the worst. Last time I was on here 6 months ago, I talked about Millie, who was the only surviving pup that was found in a bag of puppies, a litter in a dumpster. Millie has been adopted. Millie, I don't know if you've ever met Peggy Lane.
Oh, I know Peggy. Yeah.
Peggy and Keith and their grandson Tyson adopted Millie, and Millie's doing wonderful.
Oh, that's good to know.
But there's a new story that really caught me, and I actually had this puppy with me at Bark and Ball on the stage when we were doing the live auction. I was one of the spotters, and during the second round of the live auction, I just brought this dog with me. It's a albino Shih Tzu.
Okay.
We named it Falcor, which anybody who was around in the 80s knows that the movie, The Never-Ending Story, the luck dragon.
Yeah, that's
right.
My kids watched it over and over and over again.
Well, Falcor came to us. Falcor was a stray, which I don't know how a Shih Tzu survives as a stray to begin with.
No,
They are not
especially
set up.
an albino.
An albino one.
Is it deaf? I mean, because often they're deaf.
No.
Okay.
But Falcor had been in a bad dog attack, and it was a big dog. And in the process, without going into too much detail, Falcor lost both his eyes.
Okay.
So we went to great lengths to get Falcor with some of the best vet surgeons here in town. They tried to save one of the eyes after 2 or 3 weeks. It was apparent even that eye wouldn't be saved. So both of Falcor's eye sockets are empty and sewn up. And over the last couple of months, they've been healing, and you can't see the stitches. Now they're perfectly smooth, beautiful white fur. But Falcor's completely blind.
He's blind.
But one of the sweetest, most calm, relaxed dogs we've ever seen. And what kind of catches me off guard is when Falcor is in a room, if you come in, he'll sit up and he looks at you.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what he's doing, other than
Right.
maybe directionally pointing his ears at you. But I think if people, we were debating when I was up on stage for about 20 minutes spotting for the live auction. At one point, I was holding Falcor on my arm with his legs facing down and just kind of holding
Just
him.
kind of like a football.
Right. But then at one point, I kind of flipped him over like a baby. And either he was super, super relaxed or he literally fell asleep. And you know how it is being a spotter in a live auction. You're yelling. Every time
You're
somebody
hollering,
throws their
somebody-
paddle
yeah,
up,
you gotta,
you yell.
you make a noise, yeah.
And this dog was so chill.
Wow.
Falcor got a home this week.
Oh, that's
and,
great.
And so I think in our Success Saturday, the photos were posted of Falcor.
Yeah.
If not, it'll be this coming Saturday. People can go and see Falcor, but a beautiful dog with a wonderful story that started out really, really rough. So every animal has that one thing in common. The moment they come into our doors, their life just got a lot better.
A lot better, a lot better. And Fuzzy Friends, certainly in wonderful hands with you. Of course, Betsy, I know she was over the moon over everything. And so Betsy Robinson, the founder of Fuzzy Friends at Rescue. And when she recruited you, man, she hit a home run.
Well, anyone that knows Betsy knows you cannot tell Betsy no.
I was going to say, how are you
So
going to tell her no?
I was outmatched when she called me this in May of 2025 and asked me to take over for her. But I'm also honored to do it. Betsy is one of the hardest working people I've ever met. A lot of people don't have any clue how much time she puts into Fuzzy Friends. Even to this day,
Yeah, I'm
she
sure she's
loves
still involved.
the events, and she loves approving the adoptions and the surrenders. So she's still involved, and I'm learning so much from her.
Yeah. So where are you located?
We are located out on Airport Road, 6321 Airport Road, which is out by the Lake Waco Dam, right next to the HOT soccer fields. We've been there for 29 years.
Yeah, and you can go to the website if you want to see animals that are possibly available for adoption there.
Absolutely, yeah. Fuzzyfriendrescue.com, and our space out there is growing. We're in the midst of about a $5-6 million capital campaign, a building campaign to build a new quarantine facility and about 50 new kennels. And so that is kind of our focus right now, are folks who are wanting to be a part of this. And between us and the other animal welfare entities in Waco, we still cannot take care of the demand.
Right. I was going to say, it would be nice if we could put you out of business. There were
Right.
no need, but
Right.
no, there's always
We
going to be a
turn
need.
down a lot of animals to come in, and quite often it's because of capacity. We can have about 125 at any one time.
Yeah.
And over the year, we'll find homes for about 500.
Yeah.
But, we have to tell people no
Yeah.
sometimes.
And you've got Hootie.
Hootie.
So you always should check out Where's Hootie on your social
Yes,
media.
Hootie-
It's so much fun.
Hootie is our German Shepherd that we got 2 years ago from Fuzzy Friends, and he has become a little mini celebrity in Waco because of our
No
downtown
question.
tours.
He's wonderful. You're
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you, Sam.
Oh, thank
so
you,
much.
Ann.
Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
It's football season, and we can create your outdoor tailgating spaces that is actually a part of your home. Bifold doors that tie in the inside and the outside, and you can gain anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 square feet living space, all while taking in the big game poolside. Call us at Gather & Co. Kitchen and Bath, where we can create your unique tailgating space.
Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. At TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, your bank for life.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my Universal Windows Direct. I let in the sun rays, more of the heat stays. Universal Windows Direct.
Right now, buy one window, get the next one free, plus no interest and no payments for 24 months.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
The reason that their service is outstanding because the people they have working, behind the desk and the folks working out in the garage, taking care of business. And they give you a date, they give you a time, and they're spot on. And they're professional, they take care of it, and they answer all your questions, and they're fun to work with.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am so happy to have Rob Curnock here today. We always have fun when we're together.
I am a barrel of fun.
You are a barrel of fun, and you've got 2 books, and we're going to talk about both of them, but I especially want to talk about An Eye for a Tooth, which is a novel you wrote. Mm-hmm. And you have been kind of giving me updates periodically when I run into you.
Because you're the only one that'll listen.
Well, no, because I'm interested.
Kidding.
About its journey toward becoming a feature-length film.
It's fascinating. I'm learning so much about that whole industry just by what's been happening here. It's fascinating.
Well, that's great fun because your book is about an FBI agent, and he investigates a string of violent, seemingly random crimes across the Southwest, set against the backdrop of political and cultural division. Feels very much like the world we're in today.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say? Suspenseful, it's timely, and constantly asks the reader to rethink about who the heroes and the villains are.
Yeah.
All right, so it's taking this next step, moving toward immortalization, I guess, on the silver screen. I mean, this is so much fun to hear you talk about the process.
Well, it's one of those things where I had an opportunity to pitch a producer in Hollywood, about the book, and it's kind of it's a totally different book. It's a murder mystery, or is it, set in Texas, but it comes at things from a totally different perspective. The hero, Jake Gromer, is a born-again, politically conservative FBI agent. Mm-hmm. And he comes upon this crime scene, which doesn't make any sense. And then there's a connection, and it starts to get bigger and badder and worse. So this whole crime spree, so to speak. And he's tasked with investigating this thing and, getting to the bottom of it, et cetera. And so he's going through all that while he's, again, a born-again Christian who's practicing his politics, but he's coming up against the woke culture of the FBI. So it comes at things from a different perspective than what you would find in most of Hollywood. And it's not something that I would think would be conducive to Hollywood.
Issue that it's
Well-
gotten as far as it's gotten?
Yeah, the key to this book is that the storyline is so different. It's so unique.
It is different, yeah.
Yeah, it crosses the underlying mystery of the drama. It crosses all the political spectrum. People are drawn into it. Doesn't matter if you're hard right, hard left, middle of the ground. You're drawn into the final issue. And that's what happened with the producer that I had a chance to pitch to. We were talking about, the storyline in the book, and he went ahead and read the book, and he bought into it. And so since he bought into it, the agency bought into it. And he basically said, when he first came to me, okay, our next step is going to be a treatment, which is where they basically take the book and they condense it down to what would be a 2.5 hour movie. He likened it to taking a 3-gallon jug of water and putting it into a 1-gallon jug. And that's what they do. And they change it up. And, it's like any book that gets turned into a movie.
Right, but did you have some requirements? You can't take certain elements out of the book, rewrite your story too much.
I did have those certain requirements, but I kind of kept them to myself at first. Because one of the things the agency...
You just kind of wait and see what they did.
Right. Well, I was part of the treatment process.
Oh,
I was
okay.
in, we had phone conference calls. He was in Hollywood. I was here, And they kept, and the agency was telling me, look, one of the things we do is we want to be okay with making changes to this, because that's the way this thing works.
Right.
And I said, I am okay with the changes as long as it doesn't fundamentally change the entire nature of the book. For instance, my hero is a born-again Christian conservative. If all of a sudden they turned him into a transgender atheist Democrat, then maybe, I would
have to have a talk.
I'd have a little problem with that. But I told him, I said, point blank, look, I just want whatever it takes for you guys to be able to sell this as a movie.
Right.
To a production firm or an agency, Netflix, whatever. Whatever it takes. I'm pragmatic about it. I just want it to have a chance for success, because if it does get made into a movie and something comes of that movie, people are going to go back and read the original book.
Right.
And they'll get the message of the book. So anyway, we went through the treatment process. He got that done, and it was things, they left out things that I would have probably put in, but again, whatever it takes, you're the professionals in Hollywood. Sure. I'm not. And so then they brought in the screenplay writer, and both these guys, by the way, they both have Hollywood credits. I mean, you can look these guys up. They're real names. And so the screenplay writer came in, and I was part of the process there too. But he read the book, read up on the treatment that the producer Jack had put together, and then he marries that up, and we meet several times over the phone and talk about it. And he came up with what I think is a pretty good screenplay.
So it's already written.
Oh yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
And if you read my book, you'd think, well, this isn't what it really is. But if you were to just go by the screenplay, which is based on the book, definitely, you'd say this is a pretty good movie. So it's kind of a trade. The agency has been shopping it throughout Hollywood, trying to get Netflix or HBO or whatever.
Okay, so they're going to the big guns. They're not at a point of shopping it to, say, actors.
They'll do
Or
that
agents,
too. I neglected to say that. That's also part of the next stage. They call it the attachment phase. And that's where they try to get like a big name actor or a producer or director or somebody interested in the film, so that when they go pitch it to, a studio, they can say, hey, we've got Chris Pratt wants to be Jake, Gromer. I'm not saying we have Chris Pratt.
But I could see him playing the role. Yeah.
Yeah, and so could the producer. So I mean, it was kind of, and they've got, one thing I've learned too about Hollywood, everything is not what you know, it's who you know.
Of course, yeah.
And so that's part of the journey. So they finished it up, and then they keep tabs. They keep me apprised of what's happening, but I'm not really part of it. I mean, because this is their world now. They're just trying to get that screenplay in the hands of somebody. And I did get a call or an email from the producer about three weeks ago now, that he had pitched at different places, and so they've got a lot of feelers out in a lot of different areas. But one that was with a pretty big production facility, he had told him about it, and then sent out the email to myself and the agency. Hey, here's what's happening. And then, like, I guess a couple hours later, 3 hours later, whatever it was, he sends another email out and says, "Hey, got an update. So and so with this agency has requested the full screenplay." So fingers crossed, from his perspective.
And that's the thing, then you send it out there and you hope it doesn't just sit on somebody's desk.
Right.
That they actually pick it up and read it.
And that was the point. The point was the fact that she requested it from him so soon, so that kind of gives an indication. Hey, they might be interested, but there is no guarantees.
Well, it seemed like when I talked to you first, let's kind of do the timeline. So you wrote the book in 2024.
I think that's when it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out.
Came out in 2024. When did you first hear, oh, this is a possibility, it could be going the route of becoming a film?
I was contacted by a group that was saying, would you be interested in doing this? And it's not anything special. And it's not like I'm super author that they're all interested, or I've got a bestseller. But it was an opportunity. They were giving me an opportunity, if I wanted it, to pitch.
Okay.
And to me, it was like, yeah, I think I can pitch this thing.
So was that pretty soon after it came out, or not?
It was probably about 11 months.
Okay.
Maybe 10 months.
And it seemed like when the last time we visited, you were saying that there were several steps that had to be gone through.
Right.
And you were almost, halfway through those steps? So do you feel
Which
like
would have been the treatment phase. Right. Yeah, right now there's nothing more for me to do than just sit back and wait. See if they can work their magic. Now, if I happen to know somebody, like if I were to, let's say I were to know, I was personal friends with Zachary Levi, who's another name that's been kind of mentioned in this grouping. I am free to go talk to them and say, hey, can I get you a screenplay from, and then the agency that I'm working with, they still would have kind of control over that. But right now it's just anybody that knows anybody. If you know anybody that could add oomph when they go to the studio. And again,
So there's not a studio at this point?
Well, there's a studio that requested the the screenplay, and he's pitching to different studios.
Well, I'm thinking, of course, something that's more in the conservative Christian, like Angel Studios. Is that one of?
I don't believe that's one of
really.
The ones
so we're talking about just run-of-the-mill Hollywood.
Well, early on, after he decided we were going to do it, he told me, and I think I told you this before. He told me that, Rob, we're going to have to take the politics out. We can leave some of the Christianity in, but we're going to take the politics out. And I said, Jack, I understand that, because the politics and the cultural issues in this aren't coming from the perspective that Hollywood would be comfortable with.
Absolutely not.
And I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be kind.
No, and you understand that. Yeah.
And he said to me, he goes, well, Rob, you have no idea how many Christians and conservatives there actually are in this industry. Yeah. Now, I'm not one of them, but but the story is what he bought into.
Yeah.
And so, I consider it to be a Christian book. I really do. It's got bad language. It's got violence, but that's the nature of who my hero is, and he stands out in that world because of his Christian values and his political values, et cetera. And that's why it's so different.
It's sort of a key element to it is an animal rescue and animals and that sort of thing, which is different.
That's one of the things that, and you've just given away a lot, but
Was I not supposed to? Sorry.
I don't, anyway. That's why it's hard to do interviews with this, because you don't want to give away.
It looks like a animal on the front.
No, you're right.
so-
I mean, it deals with that. I will tell you this: the quote after the screenplay writer had finished it, he said, "Rob, congratulations! I really liked it." He goes, "Of course, now I'm a dog person, so
Right.
blah blah blah." And that's the key to it. It's just different. It comes with things, and they did leave the Christian element, which is why they're kind of looking for Christian-friendly actors and producers and directors.
As you say, there are quite a few.
Kevin Sorbo has been named. There's been names dropped on their end that, I don't know what's because I don't have any connections out there, but it's kind of exciting to think that there's a possibility. And I think it'll draw people from all across the political spectrum, and it does still have the Christian value.
Oh, yeah,
connection in
yeah.
it.
And it's a great story. It is a page turner for sure. Is there a particular element to the story you think is going to translate really well to the screen?
You mean
Well, the action. I don't know. What's
they're labeling it as a thriller.
Okay.
It's got action in it. It's got some violence.
Yeah.
The book will make you mad. It's got a lot of emotions running back and forth. I mean, when I was writing it, I was, because I was drawing a lot of this is drawn from actual events that, have been on the internet.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
told me that when we.
And I'm just
interviewed
typing
before.
through, and I can't wait. I'm trying to get to the point where the bad guy gets
The
his.
bad guy gets his.
So it's like, but the reviews have been great, and I'm
Okay, An Eye for a Tooth. It is available on Amazon.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all the major booksellers.
All the major booksellers have
Yep.
it. You had billboards up about it. I mean, you've really done a great
We
job
did a
marketing.
book signing over at local Barnes and Noble too, and that went pretty well.
Yeah,
so,
good.
But I just haven't been promoting it probably as much.
Well,
as I
okay.
should.
Well, no, it's if this does make it to movie status, that's going to be awesome. More I want to talk to you about. I want to talk about your first book, Dead Man Running, when we come back. But we're going to take a break right now, so we'll be right back.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
That's my personal. That's yours, and then that's the general two-shot. That's the general full shot.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Who was your nemesis?
The whole point of the book is about getting him out of office.
And so Chet, I mean, this is just hats off to Chet Edwards.
Absolutely.
And for his service, certainly to this district. I appreciate him. But he came into your business, Double Tape,
Yes.
there on Franklin. And did he just see the copy of the book in your...
We keep some copies of the books under the front counter because people, a lot of times they want to come in and they want to buy them from me directly because they want me to autograph them.
Right, sure, yeah.
And he happened to be in for just as a customer. He saw the book under the counter. I wasn't there. He asked the manager, "Hey, did Rob write a book?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "What's it about?" "His race against you." He's like, "Oh,
that
guess I better
piqued his
buy
interest.
one."
Yeah, that's right. I might want to read this.
So the next day I come into the office and there was somebody on the front, a customer, and I come around the corner. It's Chet Edwards. I was like, "Hey," he goes, "I bought your book yesterday." I said, "I heard." Now, you understand it's coming from my perspective, so you might not agree with everything. "No, I want you to know you kept me up till 2 a.m. last night. I started reading through it and I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
Rob, you are such a good writer.
Yeah.
Does this mean you'll give me a good review?" Absolutely. We had a chance to talk for another hour or so. I hadn't seen him since the end of the election.
Right.
And he goes, "Rob, one of the things I teach political science kids is that politics doesn't have to be a blood sport." He goes, "You and I kept the race civil, and the book keeps it civil. I trash his politics, but I don't trash him." Because we totally disagree, and which is why I was trying to get him out of office.
So while you were running, yeah.
Yeah, and so anyway, we talked, and then before he left, he bought 2 more copies to give as gifts to people. And then he was saying, I don't care if you're in a room full of MAGA people at a book signing, if you want me to be there, I'll be there. And I thought, well, Chet, finish the book first before you might not like it. So anyway, after he'd finished it, he was saying how good it was and how he would love to help. And I said, well, if you like it so much, we're about to re-release it. going to have a new cover edited inside. They had me add photos. I said, you ought to write me a foreword to it. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, like that'll never happen.
Like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I get an email from him. Hey, if I was going to write a foreword, this is what it would be. If you want to use it, great. If you don't, that's fine. He goes, it's not going to hurt my feelings, but I'm not a writer. I read through the thing and it was beautiful. I'm like, this is incredible. And we changed up some grammar, some minor things, but so now it's the first thing you see when you open up the book. And I added a photo of him and me before a parade in West when we were talking during the campaign. But yeah, I mean, it's beautiful and it's a great media hook.
Well, and it is kind of a how-to. It's I mean, that was really your I think underlying desire was if somebody's considering running for office, which is good, we need great people running for office. Here's some of the pitfalls and the things that you experienced.
Yes, it's a great reference book. I've had I mentioned I've had several candidates who have been running and have run for office, and they've come to me and said, I had this happen in the campaign. I said, did you read the book?
Read the book.
I had this happen. Chapter 14.
Could have told you
this
that
happened.
was going to happen.
Chapter 7. All these things. And it's so remarkable how everything that happens that I put down in this book, it happens in other campaigns all the way up to the presidential level. So, I mean, it's amazing that if people are thinking about running for office, it'll tell you what you're going to come up against.
Yeah.
Maybe. It doesn't mean everybody's going to have the same issues, but it's what I came up against, and some of the stuff I came up against was actually a little extraordinary, but I mean, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it talks about the good things, and it's just a great reference book, and it's also a good story. I wrote it in a story form, so it's like a Rocky. Political Rocky, but it's real. I mean, everything is what happened to us when we were running, trying to get that evil Chet Edwards out of office. And he's really a decent man.
Oh, he says, Rob and I disagree on a lot of political issues. In fact, as a Democratic U.S. Congressman, I was the target of much of Rob's political activities through the years.
He was.
But we are friends to this day because of our common bond of caring about our democracy and country. And I think that speaks volumes, really, as far as, how you can disagree on policy issues, but we're all image bearers, and so we're all, we all bleed red. And
we've talked, and Chet and I even talked about it. We the two parties have drifted apart because there is such, we aren't looking at life the same way. And he was talking about how, he could see me, at least as someone that's workable and could, not be in people's faces. And I said, I get that, but at the same time, the parties are so far apart. I said, Chet, honestly, and I didn't say this meanly, but when I have a Democrat come up to me and look me straight in the eye and in all seriousness and earnest say, a man can have a baby, I don't know where to go with that. I mean, where do I start? I mean, it's just not. And so that's kind of what we're dealing with. So when you do find somebody that is, quote unquote, reasonable, I think you have to cultivate that relationship and that working ability, because there is too much of there's just some certain things on the left that it's not even based in reality. I mean,
well, any other future political aspirations for you, or are you going to stick with the writing?
I've had a lot of people ask me, and I'm I still, as I say at the end of the book, I still have the fire in the belly under the right circumstances. I just feel like we're at such a need good people to step up, especially on our side. I like to say evil flourishes when good men do nothing. And if we don't step forward, the type of people that are going to get involved might not be the type of people that would be good for our country. And again, that's all subjective, of course, but from my perspective and my values as a traditional American conservative, we got to step forward, even though it's hard. I mean, you've read the book. You know what I went through.
Your book, it makes it very plain. It is not for the faint of heart to run for political office, and so that's why it's a great value. And glad that you've got a second printing coming out, and that Chet so
it's
graciously.
It's actually already out. It's been out for about 3 months now.
Okay,
4 months.
Again on Amazon. Let's go back though to our first book. We were talking about An Eye for a Tooth, and so we've been talking about its progress toward perhaps going on and becoming a feature-length film, and way further ahead than we were last time we talked about it. So this has just been a little progress report, I guess, from that standpoint. What do you expect to hear next? Have you been given an idea of when you might hear something as far as the progress?
No, it's one of those things where they're doing their thing in Hollywood, and there's a few other. They're connected up now with some big agency, talent agency, that represents a lot of actors and directors and producers. So that's a whole new opening to pitch to different people to get them involved in the project. But that's all up to them. I am literally at this point just a bystander and, praying for the best, hoping for the best.
Yeah. But I guess you hear about it. It could take years for
and
ideas to.
But the key thing here is how in Hollywood, I had someone tell me this that was familiar with the industry. Everybody's pitching everybody for a movie 24/7 or some kind of production 24/7. And so just getting someone to take a look, that's a big thing. It's kind of like getting an agent. I think I've talked with you about this before, but getting an agent. There are so many new manuscripts and books, that people are writing and throwing out there. I think I told you this before. Agents that were getting 10 manuscripts a month, about a year or so after COVID, they were getting literally 100 a week.
Yeah.
And so you can't get anybody to look at you, unless you're a big celebrity or you're a big, Tom Clancy. I'm not Rob Clancy, so I got no chance at that.
Right. I mean, there's some, a lot of built-in value in some of the big names, as you say. Did you have to put any money into it yourself?
The initial deal was part of that was part of the deal, and it was like, you know what, I'd pay anything to get, because I think this thing will the pitching is worth it. I think it could happen.
Yeah.
So that was my reasoning for doing it. At the time it was like almost nothing. I'd pay to get a book in front of a good agent, because you just can't get in front of them. So for me it was like, yeah, I'll take that little gamble.
So this self-published or not?
No, this was done by Kohler out of
Books.
Virginia.
Okay.
The other one was done by the Dead Man Running was done by Christian Faith Publishing.
Okay.
I'm finishing up a third book. I'm closing in on a third book, and then I have a fourth book, because I have a third book, Scaredy Dog.
Right. Yeah, you talked about that.
I still haven't done anything with it because I've been focused on these two and all the stuff that's been happening there. But Scaredy Dog is the one that's the killer. I mean, the test reads have been through the roof. The producer, before we hung up about An Eye for a Tooth, I told him I couldn't decide whether to pitch Scaredy Dog or An Eye for a Tooth. And he goes, well, what's Scaredy Dog about? So I told him, and he kept asking questions. So I basically gave him a synopsis of Scaredy Dog.
Yeah.
And he stops me. He goes, Rob, that's the book. That's the one. That's the family feature film.
Oh.
I said, yeah, but I haven't published it yet. I'm still kind of looking for an agent. Because I really believe Scaredy Dog, it really is the one that would appeal to the widest.
Yeah. Kind of a Disney type.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right. I mean, it would be a feature film. That I've had so many people that have read it, and I put it out for test reads, and they're like, "Oh, Rob, this has got to be a movie." And again, a lot of people will say that about a lot of things, but this is one where I actually agree with him.
But your writing is really cinematic. I mean, as you're reading, you're just picturing.
Thank you.
You're really picturing it on the.
That's very kind of you.
Screen. That's
my
true.
goal.
Yeah.
you know, maybe it's my background as a television writer, you know, as a journalist, you know, and I'd won an award, a national award for, you know, writing a series of news reports that did very well. But I just, my goal is I want people to see what I'm explaining, or, you know, I want them to see the story from different, now, I don't want to get overly, you know, like, I love J.R. Tolkien. He's probably my favorite author, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, etc. But I got to tell you, as a reader, there's a lot of times through the Hobbit series and, you know, Lord of the Rings and all that by Tolkien where you're going, all right, okay, I understand. That's a tree. It's got beautiful green leaves with a hint of shadow from blah, 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 blah. Can we get on with the story, please?
Yeah.
So I want to, you know, I want a happy mix of that, or, you know, a good mix of that. And hopefully that's what I do. I just want to make sure I tell the story so it's understandable too, because I don't want people to be unsure, unclear of what's you know, what you're intending to say.
Okay, so Scaredy Dog, and you say this other book that's closer.
Yeah, I'm closer.
Can you tell me what it's about?
It's actually, it's going to be more of a niche book probably. But I do, one of the things my business does, we do a lot of deposition work with lawyers. And we've been doing this for like 30 years. We videotape depositions. And I have had so many attorneys, especially in the last probably 6 years, come up to me and say, man, I'll bet you've seen a lot of depositions. Because believe it or not, most attorneys don't do a lot of depositions. So when they do a deposition, it's not, it's unique for them too, a lot of times. But then when you do a videotaped deposition, that makes it even more different. And that's where I'm coming from with this book. It just kind of goes through some of the things I've experienced, what I've seen. The title is called A Fly on the Wall, because as the videographer, I'm just, but I've been through some really strange and hairy, and so, yeah, actually it's the lawyers that have, you need to write a book. I even had one very prominent lawyer up in the Dallas area say, if you do write the book, you need to, but if you do, can I give you, an anecdote to put in it or so? So
they got lots of anecdotes about interesting cases that,
Yeah. Well, in most cases, especially in civil litigation, most cases can be pretty...
I know,
because it's all facts and figures and accounting. It could be anything.
Sure.
But you get some weird stuff that happens, and even lawyers are like, whoa,
wow.
So anyway, I'm closing in on that,
yeah. And meaning what? I mean, closing in.
I would say I'm probably 85% done with it.
Okay.
And then I've got some lawyers and an assistant district attorney and some others that have asked, I'm going to have them be my
you're pretty
my technical advisors.
Careful to have experts. Well, you did with this. I mean, you had law enforcement.
I had an retired FBI agent made sure that everything in there is technically accurate, and that's the key. Because you want a good story, but you also want it to be accurate.
Right. You don't want people to go, this is...
Plus, I want my stories also to be logical. I mean, I use the example of if you've ever watched the old Chuck Norris movies where, he's stopping bad guys and like you'll see a bunch of bad guys putting together an atomic bomb, and then the camera pans up and there's Chuck standing on the rooftop looking down at him. It's like, okay, Chuck just happens to be everywhere where these bad things are.
Yes, right.
I want my books to be logical, and that's not saying anything against Chuck Norris.
Right.
Great movie maker, et cetera, but great patriot. But
that suspension of reality is taking it a step too far.
I want my books to be realistic. I want them to be logical. Hey, this is what would happen if X happens. This is what would happen if Y happens, and so on.
Yeah.
And that's been my goal all along.
Well, it's always fun to talk to you about your book, your writing, especially the process of it becoming a film. I'm all into processes.
Again, we don't know. I'm not trying to come in here and go, hey, it's going to be a movie.
It's going to happen. Yeah, we hope. Because I think it will. I think it'll be entertaining. I mean, if nothing else, we need some entertainment. So
it's different. And
it is
Hollywood
different.
is putting out a lot of the same stuff.
That's the thing. That's the criticism. It's like it's just remake, and there's not an original idea in them. But
one last thing, that was the beautiful thing about when going through and talking with the head of the agency, et cetera. And one of the things they ask you is, well, what's a book that's similar? What's a comparable
what it's like.
title?
Yeah.
And when I was meeting with the screenplay writer and the producer, and they started talking about, hey, Jack, did you come up with a comp on that? No, Stanley, I thought maybe such and such a movie, but I don't think that really does it. And they're going back and forth, kind of excluding me. And finally, I interjected and I go, guys, you have no idea how good this makes me feel.
Yeah.
That you can't come up with any comps. You can't come up with any book or movie that would be like this.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's what I'm looking for, something different. That's what I want. And they were like, well, yeah, it is. I mean, so that was a good thing. But the agency head will say, well, a lot of the production houses, they want to know what they're getting into and what they could expect, which I get that, but this is different. This is a totally different book.
Yeah,
it's just, Anyway.
Oh, An Eye for a Tooth by Rob Curnock, again on Amazon, and Dead Man Running, the second edition, with a foreword by Chet Edwards. I think that's just awesome.
It really
Thanks
was
so
nice
much
of
for
him.
being with us.
Thank you for having me. I sure appreciate it. I always enjoy
We
talking
always have
with
fun.
you. Yeah.
We always have fun. Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
The reason that their service is outstanding because the people they have working, behind the desk and the folks working out in the garage, taking care of business. And they give you a date, they give you a time, and they're spot on. And they're professional, they take care of it, and they answer all your questions, and they're fun to work with.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
If you're someone in Waco who loves learning, you have to check out Social Studies. In a time dominated by AI content and screens, we're going to do something totally different by bringing people together to think, listen, and talk in real life. Every month, we're going to head to a different local bar, and a professor is going to come out and give a lecture for people to listen to over drinks. This time, we're heading to Barnett's on Thursday, March the 5th. Our speaker that night is going to be historian Dr. Stephen Sloan, and the talk is Waco Time Machine. He's taking us back 50, 100, 150 years to see how this city actually evolved into what it is today. It's a great way to grab a drink, learn something new about where you live, and actually meet some new neighbors. We're kicking this off as a monthly series, and I'd love for you to be a part of the very first one. If you want to join us that night, just drop a comment below, and I'll send you the info to grab a ticket.
At TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, your bank for life.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Lonesome Texas sun was setting slow, and in the rearview mirror I watched it go. I can still see the wind in a golden hair. I close my eyes for a moment and I'm still there. Bluest skies in Texas are home. watching me tonight. And like the stars that fill the midnight sky, your memory fills my mind. Where did I go wrong? Did I wait too long? Or can I make it right? The bluest eyes and
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Having celebrated its 50th anniversary last year, Key Talk has gone from a small diner to a Waco historical marker, known for its blend of American and Korean flavors.
I see so many regulars that come in. They love this place. They've been coming to, there's generation upon generation. They came as little children, and then, their parents brought them here, and then now they're adults and they have children. They're bringing their children. When they come to Waco, they remember Key Talk, and they say, oh, we had to stop here. We had to come here, People drive several hours just to come and get our Oriental fries, which is mind-blowing to me, because it's like, wow, like they did something good.
I'm a fourth owner. The first owner, her name is Key Talk. About more than 80% of stuff here is handmade. Most Korean people don't go measurement by the cups and spoons. We eye measure.
And then you have to taste it to make sure, but that's why I'm like, Mom, I don't know how to make it your way. I don't have a recipe.
Perhaps the most popular recipe they have to offer is their Oriental fries.
This fryer here does not stop with the Oriental.
And what's most popular is surprisingly their most simple.
It's something that Key Talk, which was the original owner, Key Talk created a long time ago whenever she first opened the business. She just threw some stuff together and battered it and fried it, and so then she named it Oriental Fries. It's just potato, carrot, onion, and parsley. That's all it is. Crazy because we're supposed to be like a Korean barbecue place, but we're known for our burgers and fries.
Yeah.
These Oriental fries, they've been talked up this whole time that I've been here. So for these fries, I think I figured it out. The key is the sweetness of the carrots. It all blends well, really well together. I need to have my fries with ketchup, to be honest with you. But this, I'm not missing the ketchup. I'm not missing the ketchup. The soy sauce is just enough.
For 6 News, I'm Dominic Gonzalez.
A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
This is a Rogue Media Network production. This is a Rogue Media Network production.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Allen Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Allen Samuels always said, so do we. Allen Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Is working overtime and your house still feels hot. Maybe it's your old windows that are to blame. Worn seals, warped frames, and outdated glass can let hot air in and cool air out. Beat the Texas heat. Call Universal Windows Direct of Central Texas today for a cooler home and lower energy bills. 0% financing is available with your good credit.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.